and welcome to Delightful, Delicious, Delovely. My name is Christina Elise, and today I am going to be making a spicy chicken enchilada soup with homemade red enchilada sauce. I'm going to start right now with the enchilada sauce. It's a pretty simple affair. You could certainly buy some pre-made stuff if you want to just skip this step, but this isn't difficult. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of oil. There's one, olive oil that is. Here's a little tip for you guys. TJ Maxx, awesome resource for inexpensive olive oil, first of all, and other things, weird things, condiments and rubs, and I don't know. Just go into the food section, and they have all kinds of crazy stuff in there that it's fun to save on olive oil at TJ Maxx. I buy all my olive oil there. All right, now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm a sniffer. Whisk that together. And now I'm going to incrementally add 2 cups of veggie stock. And I'm going to let it thicken in between. Happens pretty quickly. But while this goes on, I want to, pardon me, mention something that I've been seeing a lot in my comments on this channel. A lot of people are saying, I'm not vegan, but that looks delicious, or I'm not vegan, but I'll pass this recipe on to my vegan friends. And to that I say, why do you have to be vegan to eat a vegan dish? I don't look at like Italian food and say I'm not Italian, but that looks good. I'll pass this on to my Italian friends, or Mexican or Chinese. It's like you eat what you eat. So why not eat a vegan meal once in a while, even if you're not vegan? And, pardon my sniffing, speaking of not being vegan, most of the people watching this channel probably aren't vegan, and I hope that you will experiment with these dishes. I think it's important to acknowledge that the vegan meat industry, Beyond Meat, Gardein, those sort of things, are not supported simply by vegans. They're actually, I think 70 or 80% of their market is meat eaters that are doing Meatless Mondays and just cutting back on meat for whatever their personal reasons might be. So I think it's important to acknowledge that that fact. And to those people I say, I have 5 years of recipes on my blog, Delightful, Delicious, Delovely. I started the blog 5 years ago, and I still ate fish back then. So there's even some fish recipes on there. And I had a carnivorous boyfriend, so there's a few meat concessions on there to him too. And boatloads of vegetarian stuff. And boatloads of vegan stuff. So there's something on my blog for everybody. A lot more for vegans and vegetarians, but there's something for everybody. So please look there if you don't see a recipe yet on my channel. I've got 830 posts on that blog, so really no shortage of ideas. Also, I hope that to the vegans and non-vegans out there, don't always require the word vegan in a recipe title that you see. So many recipes that are not posted as vegan can be so easily adapted to be so, just by replacing real butter with vegan butter, or real milk with non-dairy milk, that sort of thing. So there's really no shortage. I know that people who aren't vegan, a lot of people think that vegans live on lentils and tofu, and some do, I suppose, but there really aren't any limits to what you can make and make it vegan. I can't make a steak per se, but I made that beef thing, that roast beef thing that was pretty fantastic. In fact, when I cut into it, it was so almost sinewy and red in the middle, it kind of freaked me out. So But short of an actual piece of meat, a hunk of beef or something, you can really make everything else vegan with not a lot of effort. So, anyway. And so many reasons to go vegan too, whether it's for your personal health or for the health of the planet, or obviously the lives of the animals. Well, that's what I wanted to say. The vegan meat industry, because people have been doing Meatless Mondays and people who identify as meat eaters have been cutting back on meat across the country, I think between like 2014 and now, I think, or 2007 and now, 400 million fewer animals were killed for food in that period because of people cutting back. So really, I applaud anybody who's cutting back. You needn't be vegan to get my applause. I think that if you're cutting back at all, it's a great start. And I'm glad that you're watching. Okay, rather than make you watch me cook that all down, I have reduced it a little bit. It has the consistency of a thick, thin gravy, sort of a medium thickness of gravy. So now I'm going to add in 6 ounces of tomato paste, one of these little cans of tomato paste. I'm going to try to avoid using the whisk because it makes too much noise. Again, you can just buy a can of this stuff or a jar of this stuff at your supermarket and skip this step, but it's kind of nice to make it right from scratch. There's there's fewer chemicals and preservatives. I guess there's some chemicals and preservatives in the stock and in the canned tomato, but whatever, you do what you can. All right, now I'm going to add in the last few ingredients once I get this tomato paste broken up. Okay, looking good. Looking really good, actually. I'm going to add, this is 4 tablespoons of chili powder, not cayenne pepper, but chili powder. What flavor am I using here? I'm using ground chipotle chili pepper. 4 tablespoons sounds like a lot, but it's not. I might need to bust out the whisk for this. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit so I don't get splashed by bubbling sauce. If this gets too thick for you, by the way, at any point in time you think it's too thick, you can just add a little water. If it's too thin, just keep cooking it down. Good, it's bubbly. All right. And now I'm going to add to this, a tablespoon of dry parsley. Another tablespoon of tablespoon of dry parsley. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon, whatever. Let's go big, go or go home. Teaspoon of oregano, dry oregano. A teaspoon of, this is garlic powder or granulated garlic, and with a teaspoon of that. And with a little pinch of cumin. Bam. Bam, it's somebody's thing, isn't it? Emeril Lagasse, is that his thing? All right, stirring it in. And that is it. You could add a little salt, but you know, I think in my original blog post about it, I added some salt. I'm not going to add salt because the stock is salty, and you can always salt it after the fact. No sense in getting over your head and having it be too salty from the start. So there it is. It's done. This is a beautiful pot of homemade red enchilada sauce, and I'll be back with the rest of the recipe for the soup. Okay, I'm back. So originally on my blog, this was a slow cooker recipe, but I'm just going to do it stovetop. Actually, so far, all the recipes that I have posted on the channel have previously appeared on my blog, so there's written format there. with an ability to print the recipe out on the site. Usually I link the recipe, the original recipe, in the information under the video here. Okay, this is super, super, super easy. All I'm going to do is put 2 cups of vegetable stock. 2 cups of vegetable stock in a hot pan. I'm going to add 2 cups of the red enchilada sauce, which is the entire recipe I just made. Ooh. All right, mix that in. This pan, by the way, I bought All-Glad's an expensive set of pans, but let me just tell you, if you can possibly afford them, why it's worth buying them. I bought this pan, a set of these pans, literally 25 years ago. This pan is 25 years old. As you can see from the outside of it, I don't respect it very well. I put it in the dishwasher, which is a verboten, and I really give it a beating. I ride it hard, put it away wet. But this stuff really, it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. How corny and cliche can I be? I continue to be. So you can burn anything on here. There's nothing, you can just burn it till it's a black crust and soak it overnight and it pretty much comes clean. I love these pans. Again, they cost a lot. I probably couldn't afford to buy them now, but they're really worth what you pay for them. Just in the lifespan. They're impossible to they're indestructible. All right, that's all mixed in there. And I'm going to now add, it's very, very easy. I'm going to add a can of Rotel. You can add a can, I can't see, this is like a 10-ounce can or 14-ounce can of fire roasted tomatoes. Just dump that in there. If this was slow cooker, you would just put it all in the slow cooker and then walk away for 4 hours. This is 2 cans of black beans. Just, a 14-ounce can of black beans. I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves approximately. I'm going to add a can, this is a little 4-ounce can. This is of hot jalapenos. You could use diced chilies, you could use diced jalapenos, you can use them mild, medium, or hot. This is hot. My original recipe, I used a can of mild, so I also added 2 fresh diced jalapenos. I'm not going to be adding the fresh ones to this recipe because I think these guys will be hot enough. I am going to add, this is the Beyond Meat chicken. I dice it. I like to dice it up. I don't know why. I feel like it just goes further, and I just like to, I dice it. And I'm going to add, this is a plate of a small red onion diced and essentially a single bell pepper. I had some red, green, and yellow left over from my green pepper beef of the other day. So that's this stuff going in there. All right. And last but not least, the recipe online, I think, called for like 10 ounces of frozen corn or canned corn. I cut up 2 ears of fresh corn, and I'm going to put them in here too. All right, this pot is just big enough. Okay, and that's it. That's the recipe. So I'm going to stir this up. I might have to add a little water to thin it if it gets too thick. But basically, I'm just going to simmer this until the vegetables are tender, which, what would that take, half an hour maybe? Yeah, really, that's it. Let you take a peek at this. I think in my original recipe I added some chia seeds too, because I had them and I was not finding ways to use them. You could add some chia seeds to this. It would definitely take some more water. I think this even needs more water. As you saw it now, it needs a little bit more water. But I'll let it cook down a little bit and then add it then. And that's it. So when it's done, serve it with some beautiful garnish. I like to serve it with cilantro and avocado and maybe some diced tomatoes, some awesome hot sauces. That's it. But it's pretty healthy and ridiculously yummy. And if you don't like vegan chickens or you don't like vegan meats. Don't like I know there's a lot of vegans that don't like the faux things. They feel like what's the point of being vegan if you're going to eat a fake chicken? Leave the chicken out. It's not important. It's just a texture it's just a texture in the whole thing. It doesn't really add a lot of flavor. So that's it. That is my recipe for what's it called? Spicy chicken enchilada soup with homemade red enchilada sauce. And that is it. My name is Christine Elise. This is Delightful, Delicious, Delovely. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe. And please share my videos. If you make one, please let me know how it turns out. Also, if in the comments, if you guys want to ask any questions, maybe sometime in the future I'll take some questions and I'll answer them for you. And that's it. So thank you very much. And until next time. Bye.